My name is Alex Durmashkin and I'm the president of American Eastern European Council. Today we commemorate the 77th anniversary of the end of World War II. World War II veterans are special people. They fought and survived in this devastating and horrible war that is now in our distant past. Russian-speaking Los Angeles war veterans were fortunate to survive the war and subsequently live a peaceful life in our beautiful state. More than 30 years ago, they created their veterans organization and in LA that made a significant impact on the life of Russian-speaking community here. American Eastern European Council has always supported our veterans living in California with all means available to us. In 2005, we published a unique book, Californians, Participants in the Great Patriotic War, which collected biographies of about 300 Russian-speaking California veterans. It is noteworthy that a team of veterans took a significant part in the publication of this book. We also extensively covered the life of veteran organization in the Russian language publication throughout California, provided financial support for war veterans, assisted in organizing and attending events by veterans, and much more. It is important to emphasize the contribution of the Russian-speaking veteran organization of Los Angeles to the life of the Russian community of West Hollywood. They played an integral role in organizing and creating a vibrant and active community, helping many to integrate into American life. As a result of their efforts, the leadership of the city of West Hollywood recognized the prominent role which the Russian-speaking community plays in the prosperity and diversity of the city. The leadership ordered the construction of a unique monument dedicated to the Soviet war veterans in Plummer Park in 2005 and created a Russian advisory board in the city government in 2001. Now a little more on a personal note. I belong to the baby boomer generation. My father was a participant in the Second World War. He finished the war in Berlin with the rank of captain and was awarded 2 military orders and numerous medals, including the medal for the capture of Prague and for the capture of Berlin. He returned to his homeland 4 years after the end of the war, having served this time in Germany. I want to talk about the evolution of the attitude towards Victory Day, both from the perspective of participant in the war, including my father, and my personal view. This evolution, in my opinion, to a large extent depended on the policy of the Soviet government and subsequently on the Russian state after the fall of the Soviet Union. Up until 1970, all of my father's military awards, orders, and medals were just part of my toys. He was a very modest man, never talked with me about the war, and never wore his award until 1970, when Brezhnev's Soviet Union had a lavish celebration to commemorate the 25th victory anniversary, and my father was still shy to put on all his military award, but he put on his military trims. My father proudly and for the first time put all his orders and medals on the 35th anniversary of the victory in 1980. He and his fellow officers, all graduates of the Academy of Armored Forces, celebrated with enthusiasm and jubilee this day in Moscow. By that time, the Brezhnev Soviet propaganda machine was already operating at full capacity. I remember how a close friend of my parents, a participant in the war, then complained that a Soviet political worker made him look bad because he didn't put on his military awards on Victory Day, pointing out to him that it was apolitical. The propaganda machine and pressure have continued to increase its momentum. 40 years after the end of the war, its participants began to be granted privileges in terms of purchasing scarce foods and products, increasing cash payments, etc. Their social status began to constantly rise. After the collapse of the USSR, the two main holidays of the country, the anniversary of the October Revolution and May 1st, were downgraded in their importance, while the status of Victory Day increased significantly. The Russian propaganda machine made this day the main holiday of the country. The Russian propaganda also using television and internet reached many of the former citizens of the Soviet state, regardless of where they were living. Likewise, for my father, at the end of his life, Victory Day became the most important and sacred holiday. During the years of Putin rule, especially since 2014, the veterans movement was turned into a tool of Russian military propaganda. Such a sober perception of event came to me as the masks were completely removed from the real militaristic goal of the current Russian leadership. The criminal government gradually brainwashed the Russian-speaking people with the fetishization of the war, thereby making most of its citizens accomplices in modern crimes on Ukrainian soil. I want to say that in all times past after the victory in World War II, apparently not enough was done in terms of promoting peace and preventing a new war, because today, 77 years after the victory over German fascism, people in Russia are being imprisoned for going out onto the streets with posters for peace and no war. Indeed, today, when tens of thousands of Ukrainians and Russians are dying in the war, we commemorate this event with tears in our eyes.